You know, that thin air might just make you go crazy. A mile high and points aplenty late in this one. Fourth quarter inside a minute. Jaxson Dart on 3rd and 10 heaves to the end zone. We got PI on Riley Moss. I defer to my DBs.
He looks and finds the ball.
No shot. Look, head around. Where's the PI?
Giants go in front 32-30. Here on the PAT,
this is
he should have gone for 2. Jude Mikatomne off the mark, and that leaves the door open. After a long Bo Nix completion of Cortland Sutton, Will Lutz split him at the horn. Denver snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, and Jaxson Dart let in disbelief. Darts 15-33, 283, and 3 touchdowns here in the losing effort as the New York Giants led by 18 points with 6 minutes to play. From that point, we saw 31 more points posted in a 33-32 wild finish in Denver. All right, back in studio with the fellas. Where to begin? This was a wild game. We felt like we had a beat on it, and then the final 6 minutes happened. The Giants maybe showing their age and experience, lack thereof, a bit here late in this game. What was the fatal flaw?
Not knowing how to close this ball game. You talked about having a double-digit lead in the second half. For the New York Football Giants, you got to find a way to close this ball game. That's what good teams do. And right now, the Giants, they're trying to figure out that consistency in terms of becoming a good team, living in that neighborhood. But I can tell you this much, Giants fans. I know it hurts. You're a bit disappointed. But there's life in terms of your future. You got a quarterback. You got some young dudes that don't mind putting it on the line and balling. And defensively, you got a bunch of guys that can get after opposing passes. You just got to find a way to close this ball game. And for the Denver Broncos, this was a game you could not afford to lose because the boogeyman is right around the corner. And right now, you know who the boogeyman is as Halloween approaches us? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? And they're starting to find their rhythm. So for the Denver Broncos being a playoff caliber team, a team that made the playoffs last year, this was a game you're supposed to win, especially being at home, and they found a way to get it done.
To your point here, Mac, the Denver Broncos, the third team since 1970 with 2 wins in a month when trailing by 14 or more in the fourth quarter. They're finding ways, Logan, down the stretch to go effort those wins, to get the dirty one done when they need to. I appreciate you offering the olive branch here to the Giants fans, but that's a raw wound right now. What does that locker room sound like? What's the internal message after you come off a loss like that when you're still young and identifying leadership?
Look, there's no such thing as a moral loss in the NFL by any means, but you do have to be proud of how they played. You know what I'm saying? You do have to be proud of how the offense played in New York, and they pay all those pass rushers. They pay these guys to finish games on defense. And Bill Belichick used to have a saying that good teams find a way to win it, bad teams find a way to lose it. There are so many times when games are decided within the final 2 minutes. And now with this new dynamic kickoff, we spoke about field position down the stretch. 30 seconds is enough for a team to come and get a field goal based on where they're starting that drive. They're not starting on the 20-yard line anymore. So I expect with the pass rushers and the assets that they put on defense for the defense to close that game out because your rookie quarterback, your rookie running back, they play well enough for you to win this game, to shock a lot of fans, to shock Denver on the road. It's on the defense to close this out.
So to that point, because of the dynamic kickoff and you can get the ball at the 35, if it goes out of bounds, it can be at the 40. The Denver Broncos had the ball at the 23. They actually returned it. And so this was like the old touchback, right? They had to go that usual distance. And how many times, B-Mac, Joe, because we're here every Sunday, have we sat here and we have watched teams score the go-ahead touchdown with 35 seconds left, 40 seconds left. And by hook or by crook, whether it's the kick out of bounds or the dynamic, whatever, the other team gets in position. I think there's going to be a massive, thorough look around the NFL at ensuring that when Jaxson Dart extends himself into the end zone, he doesn't extend himself too soon. There was 37 seconds left. I think that we're going to see it because we just keep seeing it around the league.
But also to your point, when they returned the ball, I think it was less than 37 seconds on the clock, maybe 30 or so. And to Logan's point, the money players for the Giants on their team, they're on the defensive front. I understand Brian Burns was dealing with an injury, but you look at the money invested, the draft picks invested, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence. Somebody got to get home.
They gave up a 3-possession lead with 6 minutes left in the game. the defense did.
Yeah.
Broncos down 18 with under 6 minutes left. It's the first win with that margin and that time since 2003 as we take a look at most points in a fourth quarter in NFL history. 33 points. JJ, you posed the question. I have the answer. There have been 27 games with a game-winning score in the final 2 minutes of regulation or overtime heading into Week 6. We see more of that here in Week 7. It continues to happen. The kickoff rule is one thing. Some shoddy defensive play is another. We have to assess all that we saw here. Obviously, a building growth around Jaxson Dart. But, Mac, I want to pivot to the Denver Broncos here. You look at that number, what they were capable of after being stagnant on offense throughout. How did they find it here with Bo Nix?
Bo Nix. Bo found his stride because for 3 quarters, it felt like Bo was playing with his eyes closed. He couldn't establish any rhythm. They couldn't do anything right. And then something clicked, like magical. Wow, let's go get it. And when he found that stride, this is what we saw from Bo Nix towards the end of his rookie campaign, was just great play, very, very confident, veteran-like play, and he was the ultimate point guard for their offense, and that's who he became today. And those 2 passes that he completed that led to that game-winning kick were unbelievable. Yeah. They were high-level throws. You talk about attacking the middle of the football field, and then that outstanding hole shot to Courtland Sutton that led for that Lutz game-winning field goal. This is who you think Bo should be moving forward. But I can tell you this much, in the first quarter of the season, it's been a bit inconsistent. Maybe this game-winning drive could lead to that consistency that we know he can deliver for this team to be the type of team they should be.
Inconsistent or not, 5-2.
Yeah.
Right? You can't knock that. We all picked Denver to win I'm not saying all of us, but the media picked Denver to win this division. We thought Kansas City was done. This is the time. It's Denver's time, right? And the Chiefs are coming, right? They look legit. But with Denver still leading in this division and still winning as well, there's going to be some powerful matchups down the stretch to get top seeding in the AFC, right? Because what are the Bills looking like? What are the Ravens looking like? What's the AFC contenders looking like right now? As inconsistent as Bo Nix has been,
they're still 5-2.
They're still right. They're 5-2. And they'll take that going forward because they know they're going to have some big battles with the Chiefs down the stretch.
JJ, how do you frame this moment? Because we could call it a couple different ways. It's either a Broncos team that just snuck by the Jets and the Giants. You could frame it as a Giants team that has a young quarterback who seems to relish the moment. What's your favorite framing of this wild finish in Denver?
I think this is more about the Giants and how they need to learn how to win and how they lost this game. Because you're up 3 possessions. It's on the road. Bo Nix, we're having a lot of fun with him, right? But he still hasn't been that superstar. He's been more the extension of the head coach. He's not necessarily the guy just yet who's going to break through and say, I can will my team back down 3 scores with 6 minutes left and win a football game. Defense has to get a stop. The offense has to stay out on the field longer, right? There can't be that 3 and out and then punting back to them. So this is, I think, more on the Giants learning to become a good team and no longer a bad team. And I think the Giants, I always hate this team lost or this team won. You know, the Denver Broncos won, but the Giants really did lose this game.
Yeah, 33-32 at final count. Check in on your Giants fans, friends. Just check in on them. That was a wild final 6 minutes of game clock. And it ends in regulation. The Broncos with a throw and a kick. Largest comebacks in the final 6 minutes of a fourth quarter. The second largest since 2000.